everybody, and welcome to MS Autos and Expeditions. So as you can see in the video, this is my 325i BMW, and I'm just going to run through a few of the maintenance items as well as upgrades I've done to the car so far throughout the 8 months of ownership. So once I bought the car, I took it to an independent mechanic near my house, a very good one and very reasonable rates. And I had to replace the 2 front shock absorbers as the oil had leaked out. 2 new front tyres, as the ones I had were pretty old on the car when I bought it. I had a coolant change, the thermostat was changed at 100,000 miles, as well as brake fluid, diff fluid, engine service. I've had 2 engine services so far, and I also had the transmission fluid changed as well. In terms of other maintenance things, I have again myself done the lubrication of all the roof seals and all the components that move with white potassium fluid. And again, when I bought the car, the front left blower was squeaking. It was a bit rusty, the bearing, so again just a bit of white potassium in there, took that out and repaired that as well as all the air and cabin filters have been changed. In terms of problems, the car hasn't actually given me any problems. I bought the car with 94,000 miles. The car was one owner from new. It was a lady, and because it's an automatic, not much to go wrong there. And from the way the car drives now, I'd say that this lady probably never drove it hard in all 14 years of her owning the vehicle. It was near sort of a sea area, so there is a little bit of rust on the underbelly in terms of, the differential and everything, but other than that there's no rust on the actual paintwork, besides maybe one spot where a stone chipped it. But then again, I bought some colour matched touch-up paint and touched up all the spots just to sort of prevent any rust from forming on the chipped areas. And I've also done a few upgrades to the car. Mainly the xenons. It was more of a warm colour on the stock xenon, so I upgraded them to 6500K. So it's a nice sort of cold blue, white but with the shade of blue to how the colour expresses itself. In terms of lighting, again, LED interior lights and the number plate lights. Again, it's very subjective. I prefer the white look inside the car, but then again, because it's beige leather, a warm halogen bulb also complements it quite nicely. I've also had the muffler upgraded with power flow exhausts, and it just really opens up the engine a bit more. And I've gone and fitted a Joying 10.25 inch multimedia system singled in to the car. Again, much better than the BMW Professional stock unit. This one does deliver 4 channels times 55 watts as a maximum, which is again a massive improvement compared to the stock system, as again the car has no amps. I've also gone and bought a refurbished steering wheel, so somebody's retrimmed it in a nice M Sport Nappa leather. And again, to complement the Joying sound system, the multimedia system, I've fitted focal ES100K to the front. So I've got 2 mids running at 60 watts RMS with a max peak of 120 watts, complemented by 2 front tweeters. So you buy all the parts from BMW, like the tweeter housings, and just fit that in. Future projects will probably include upgrading the rear speakers as well with the exact same system, so 2 rear tweeters and 2 upgraded rear mids. And again, need to do a bit more research, but then again the underseat subwoofers also need to get upgraded, and I think the sound system would be perfect. Even now there's a day and night difference compared to the stock system, but of course when you're running higher power subs and other speakers, you would benefit from an amplifier, but then again you need to take budget into account. So again, it's a gradual process. Of course, I am investing probably up to what the car is worth, if not more, but this car for me is one of those projects which you intend for it to be lifelong unless something really catastrophic happens with the car, touch wood. So yeah, this will be a long-term journey for me with this car. I very much enjoy the way the car drives. It's a naturally aspirated N53 B30 engine, inline 6, producing 218 horsepower. But then again, the car is 15 years old, so of course it's probably lost some of those horses. However, when you do put your foot down, it has a very nice delivery, and of course compared to newer cars, the way it delivers the power is a lot more, should I say, relaxed. It does give the kick on the high revs, and it's got a decent amount of low-end torque, considering the specifications of the engine. It's overall a nice feeling. I have the car drives. The only other issue I have had with the car is the P0420 code. My Bank 1 catalytic converter is aging, and again, another project perhaps in the future is to fit 200 cell high flow cats, enjoy a bit of better fuel economy, and then complement that with a NOx emulator. But again, that's all in the pipeline for now. So there will be more videos of me perhaps traveling with the car and taking it to interesting locations both in the United Kingdom and throughout Europe. I do have some videos from when I took it on a road trip in the summer of this year. I went to Montenegro with it, did about 6,500, 7,000 kilometers there and back, absolutely no problems. And to be honest, I took the car in sort of, let's just say, mild dirt roads, which of course going slow nothing really happened, but the car was taken outside of its comfort zone, given that it is relatively low and the shocks and everything aren't really designed to handle sort of the bumpiness it did have to go through. So yeah, that's an overall summary of my experience so far. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video as well, and if you want to subscribe, give it a like, by all means do so. It will help me in perhaps getting the car to pay for itself one day via YouTube channel. And of course the E90 series, sorry, the E9X series, whether it's the E90, E92, E93 or even the E91, I'm sure there's plenty of other enthusiasts out there who enjoy this series of BMW as much as I do. I think it's these sorts of cars should be looked after and preserved for the future. They will definitely be appreciated one day for sort of the engineering aspect of when BMW still used to make decent cars. Of course, even these cars had their problems compared to the older 1990s models. With the N53, like my one, had the high pressure fuel pump issue as well as the injectors. However, I called up BMW Bolton, where this car was first sold in the UK, and it was serviced there throughout its life with the first owner, and it was confirmed that the high pressure fuel pump was indeed replaced and the injectors were rectified under recall, so one less issue for me to worry about there. That's it. I'm going to wrap this video up here. Once again, if you've enjoyed it, press like and subscribe. It will help this, as you can see, very new and very young channel out, and hopefully I'll be posting more content about the car as well in the future.